I'm here with my buddy Philip Williams, and I'd like to encourage you to watch the Phil Williams Show, and you can go to patriotinsights.com.
All right. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah.
It is that time for my response to a tweet. And today's tweet says, New York values is something Cruz does not get. And that's why Trump will win New York and the presidency. New York values is something Cruz does not get. And that's why Trump will win New York and the presidency. Wow. Wow. Hey, let me just go with, oh my God. Sometimes it's incredible that these people sometimes don't even know how to tie their shoes to me. I mean, if they can even identify their shoes. I mean, sometimes I think they got mismatched socks and mismatched feet. I mean, this is how ridiculous sometimes. But anyway, here's my response. What are the New York values of Republicans and conservatives that Trump gets? You're saying Cruz doesn't get these New York values. I can understand that if it was from a liberal or a progressive standpoint. I can totally understand that, and I can even respect that. Because Cruz is a conservative. He's a Republican. So I can see that, they're for Planned Parenthood, he's not. Therefore, Jesus being out of the church, out of schools and out of the public square, and Cruz is not. And I can understand the value system that progressives and liberals may have, and Cruz might not have those. So I totally get it there. But what are the New York values of Republicans and conservatives that Donald Trump gets? This is the part that's amazing. Is that this guy is celebrating him voting for something that's Republican for the first time in 70 years of living on this earth. You can disagree with Republican, Democrat, you can do that all day long, but check this out now. This guy is celebrating doing something Republican. Voting for himself. Even his first time is narcissistic. This guy is voting for the first time something Republican, and that's for himself. And so, what has this man did for Republican or conservative values that deserves your loyalty and his vote, your vote? This man supports everything that's New York Republicans and conservatives are against. Everything that you're against, Donald Trump supports it. Everything that's liberal, everything that's progressive and democratic, Donald Trump supports it. And the first time in his 70 years of breathing, he does something Republican. And you're going to let him tell you that this Republican conservative Cruz doesn't have or understand New York values? I just want to know, what is the New York value of a Republican? Is it different than the Republican value somewhere else in the country? Is it something that's like specially made for New York Republicans? New York conservatives? How does this East Coast gangster liberal that's never did anything on behalf of conservatism or Republican causes or values in his life, what has he done to deserve your loyalty? Home field advantage? What's the advantage? He's supporting everybody that's slapping New York Republicans around. Every value system that a New York Republican has, Donald Trump is against it. So all of a sudden he files as a Republican, he votes for himself. His own children can't even vote for him. And so now he can tell you about New York values? Have that guy articulate one Republican or conservative New York value. He can't. But you guys are going to give him New York in a landslide? You're going to let Mayor Giuliani is even on the fence when it comes to this dude. He touts all Ted Cruz's conservative values and stuff like this, but he's going to vote for Trump. Why? Because he's his friend. America's mayor during 9/11 is going to support his friend that thinks that it was 7/11. And for all you guys that's tripping on Donald Trump not getting 9/11 right, think about it from this perspective. This guy has been selling big gulps of BS for 9 months. And he has a special bigotry for Muslims. So of course he would say 7/11. They sell big gulps and usually Muslims own it. Talk about New York values. This is how much he values New York. One of the biggest historical events that ever happened in New York. He can't even get those words right. But he's going to get your Republican vote? Here's the bigger part about this. New York might already be a done deal. It's happening right now as we speak. But what does that say for the rest of the East Coast? Oh, just because he was in a neighboring state, he's going to get my vote. How is that going to stop ISIS? You don't know one specific plan that this retard has. Not one. This dude is the most un-Republican conservative value person on the planet. And you're going to let him stand in front of you guys and for you guys and tell you what the New York value is? As a Republican? Or a conservative? You've got mad at Obama because he's going to have on-the-job training. This dude is going to have on the Republican training. It's going to be on the job as even being a Republican. And you're going to give him the White House too? Donald Trump is going to make New York Republicans look like hypocrites. You can't criticize Obama for being a one-term senator and this and that. At least he was running on a Democratic liberal ticket, and he was a lifelong liberal. This dude has been a Republican for 9 months, his first time in his whole life ever voting on a Republican issue. And unfortunately, it's for selfish reasons. It's because it's him. The super duper crybaby, me gun shooting person on the OK Corral dude on the planet, not one specific. And I just want to know, New York Republicans and conservatives, what has this East Coast gangster liberal done to deserve your loyalty? Does he have your family hostage somewhere in some bodega somewhere in Jamaica, Queens? I mean, what's going on? I don't get it. And do you know you New York Republicans is voting for this dude, is sending the signal to Pennsylvania and New Jersey and everywhere else that Cruz, a lifelong Republican, can have his hat handed to him by somebody who's just now for the first time in his 70 Alzheimer's having years is saying something, doing something Republican? People, we are in trouble if this is the thought process. But really what it shows is that either you New York Republicans needed a wake-up call from this black man, or you are fundamentally transformed by the other black man. Because this is the action of a fundamental transformation. Somebody who has never done anything for your causes and your values, now getting your vote. To me, that proves that you are fundamentally transformed. And what you need to do is thank Barack Obama. And really, if you want to know the truth, it has nothing to do with him. It has to do with liberalism. But it just sounded cool to say. You are either fundamentally transformed or you need to wake up. If you have already voted, you need to call the people in Pennsylvania and say, my bad, I'm sorry, you don't create the same mistake I did. Because Donald Trump is an East Coast gangster liberal. All day, every day. As Kevin Hart would say, all day, every day. In my sleep, walking backwards, uphill, ice skates, rollerblades, with no butt pads. Liberal all day. Hey, I'm Phil Williams, and that's my response to a tweet on The Phil Williams Show.